Warning, these are the thoughts of the following people: Marcos, Alan, and myself. If you judge us, we'll send our Pokemon after you to find you. Have fun.
Nowadays, life is intertwined with technology. Let's figure it out. Welcome to Life, Tech, and Sundry. Good evening, good day, good morning. This is Marcos Lopez, coming to you straight from the internet. And along with me today, we have Alan.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good morning. Good day.
And then, last but not least, Josue, Mr. J.
I am here. Where is your troubles?
Yes, there we go. As we do. Okay, so today we're going in and hard on the notes and then our own opinions to have a good time. And shall we begin?
So you're saying we're going to go on our onions?
Onion.
Onion.
There you go.
Okay, so yeah.
Marcos,
so, if you please.
Let's begin. Numero uno. Researchers create a beautiful mirage of quantum enemies. Cornell University scientists have identified a new contender when it comes to quantum materials for computing and low temperature electronics using nitride-based materials. The researchers created a material structure that simultaneously exhibits superconductivity, in which electrical resistance vanishes completely, and the quantum Hall effect, which produces resistance with extreme precision when a magnetic field is applied. The research is the latest validation from the Gina Xing lab that nitride materials may have more to offer science than previously thought. Nitrides have traditionally been used for manufacturing LEDs and transistors for products like smartphones and home lighting, giving them a reputation as an industrial class of materials that has been overlooked for quantum computation and cryogenic electronics. Read more at www.physics.com/news/2021 and ... What do you guys think? Material science at its finest.
-O2 beautiful.
Wait, also, you said .com? I'm reading .org.
Yeah, I'm reading .org.
Pardon me.
Not a problem. Just, a little
.org,
little help.
Yeah.
So
if
yeah,
you want, I can
please go ahead.
So this is very, 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 very difficult because quantum physics is something very theoretical. As you may or may not know, superconductivity is a very theoretical, what's it called? I don't want to say theory, but I guess you say like phase of matter.
Maybe science.
Almost.
It's been proven?
It hasn't been proven because
there we go, yeah.
Superconductivity is something still theoretical. Let me actually look up the definition. Activity.
Yes, sir.
It's when the property of zero electrical resistance in some substances at a very low temperature. So yeah, it's very theoretical. So I don't know if it's like exactly at zero. It might be like 0.000 repeating to like 01 or 99.
Yes.
Something like that. Because let's be honest, we can't exactly have zero.
You can get close to it, but not really zero.
No, that's why I said zero repeating. And then maybe we'll get to either 0.1 repeating or like 0.099 repeating, something like that. So
Yes,
it's very
yes.
theoretical. But I mean, if it's like plausible or usable, then it could help out because resistance, as you may or may not know, affects the current flow and voltage of a circuit.
Yes.
Because Marcos is very familiar with right, Marcos?
Resistance.
All of that. All of that.
No, there's a law.
There's a law.
No, literally, there's a law.
Green light means go. Red light means
Marcos,
stop.
you should know. You're an engineer.
Which one?
The law that's
My man
relative
said,
to
which
resistance.
one?
The law that's relative to resistance, voltage, and current.
My man said,
There's-
I'm a
there's
Mr.
one.
Smarty Pants. I have more than one engineering degree.
There's one simple one.
Which one?
The one that's relative to voltage, resistance, and current.
Which is, please.
I'm trying to make you sound smart here, Marcos.
Thank you, but no, I'm good.
Ohm's
He's
law.
like, oh.
Ohm?
I'm trying to elaborate.
Ohm.
Okay, nice.
He's like, I don't know that, but okay.
No, I mean, I understand the units as well. And then there's a
So,
lot
yeah.
of those things in headphones.
As far as like nitrate-based materials, I mean, I'm not no chemist, so I know that nitrogen is like, I think, the most common element in the atmosphere. I don't know how well that's gonna be here.
Yep. But it's
I don't know how many nitrogen-based materials we have. If we have an abundance of it, then great. That'll be useful. Because as some of you may know, materials that are needed for smartphones are getting low. Right, Marcos?
or their political entanglement to acquire new resources are getting pretty, entangled. Like lithium.
What?
Like the lithium. And all those
Okay.
things.
No, but
But just for
like
nitrogen example.
things like cobalt, gold, all the stuff that are in your smartphone, those are very scarce.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't know about you, but not everyone that I know has pieces of gold and cobalt lying around.
Only the mines.
I might have some in the vault. Just
In the-
just a little bit.
In the
In
shed.
the bank security deposit.
You
box.
know, just a little bit though. Just to hedge my trading on securities.
But if it's possible, then that'd be very good, maybe revolutionary. I don't know for sure because
Lucrative.
How
about that?
They're kind of hinted on it. But yeah,
There's
what do
a
you think,
lucrative
Marcos?
potential for other for companies in itself.
yeah. So what do you
And-
think, Marco? What's your thoughts?
I mean,
I need
if,
some thoughts.
the juice is worth the squeeze, basically.
But what are you juicing?
The potential for new material sciences.
Well, what kind of fruit is this?
Material
What
sciences.
Is this a towel?
The
Oranges
juice.
and-
The juice is Monet.
Yuzu, orange.
What do you think? What do you think they say? Going liquid, liquid acids,
Acids?
liquid acids.
Liquid acids. But you have to get that liquid from somewhere.
Yes.
What's the thing? What are you
Knowledge,
defining
technology. Your
You have to
parameters
be more
being a
specific than
new
that.
electrical hardware production, new electrical hardware production,
Okay.
and
What about you, Al?
Alan, yes, please.
So basically, this is not my forte, but I mean, I tend to agree with all these like raw materials. Well, in this case, you guys are talking about what cobalt, lithium. Like right now, I think the biggest lithium on our side of the hemisphere or on our side of the globe would probably be found in Chile, if I'm not mistaken. Lithium,
Yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
that's like a vein that they acquired or they have, but it's kind of finicky where the government of Chile kind of closed down or making it really difficult. So even if it benefits their country, they're kind of closing the doors on that type of mining, whereas China is buying up plots of land all over the world to try to look for lithium and stuff like that, being that they
Africa.
have a
Yeah.
right. And having lithium in their own backyard isn't enough for them. So it just goes to show you that some countries think a lot differently. And for some, they might think the juice is worth the squeeze. And for others, they honestly rather not even touch it and not use their natural resources to the fullest. Which, I mean, is there some sort of like eco-friendly green type of standard that they're trying to hold themselves to? Maybe. So I mean, I'm no one to judge. All I know is that that if there's a way, and going with what Josue was saying earlier, it's still not like the science behind it isn't still like very plausible. It's a theory, I guess, to a certain degree. If I'm not misconstruing what he says. So I think that yes, science could be very helpful in this area of expertise, or in this area that they're studying or trying to figure out if they can not only make it useful, but then on top of making it useful, actually finding some sort of revenue or making profit off of it is something that I think goes hand in hand with this type of development, or leaps into this type of science branch. So I think that, yeah, I mean, you have to grease somebody's hand to get the money to invest in this type of science, and then trying to convert whatever they find into something not only useful but profitable is, I think, the end goal. And this is also one of the reasons why I think right now, and to Marcos's information that we've been getting in a couple of podcasts before, where it's like very Mars heavy, I think this is one of the reasons why Elon Musk is going out of his way to invest in going outside the planet to source these type of raw materials or resources. Maybe he can find some cobalt, maybe he can find gold, silver, palladium, lithium out in Mars, or on an asteroid or something where it's plentiful. No one's tapped into that resource yet. Maybe he finds a different resource that we are still not aware of, that he can manufacture or use in manufacturing to better the products that he's trying to provide. And I think that's great. It requires a bunch of money, and fortunate for him, he's the second richest person on Earth, which basically helps him mitigate that situation of his. And basically, I think that it's interesting. It gives I guess a lot of people hope that we can try to venture off outside Earth, so we don't completely I guess take all the natural resources that we can from Earth, and probably use some that are outside of Earth's the globe, and use it for our betterment, whether it be in some sort of a greener energy, if that's possible, to try to better and advance technology and our human civilization without being so dependent on the natural resources that are only found here. Maybe they can find something out there, so we don't drain the globe of all of its natural resources. So that's probably like the way I would look at it and think about it. Whether they succeed or or maybe not fail, but maybe they find obstacles, like getting themselves out to space, out to Mars. Like for those that are listening, probably are more attuned or looking at the rover that's on Mars at the moment. Showing 4K images and video of how it landed. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's really dope. But I mean, again, I think it's just the spark of imagination that makes people say, you know what, maybe I will pursue a STEM type of research or STEM type of education, and try to be more hands-on in that type of realm. And it's exciting. I think it's really interesting. And I can't wait to see what people come up with. The brightest are going to come out with using these tools, and thinking outside the box to try to get some sort of result. Is it kind of scary? Yeah, the unknown is always going to be scary, but
yes,
hopefully it doesn't kill us before we find some sort of solution to something. So that's my 2 cents.
May I elaborate with a short little story? Not a ditty, like a little elaborating not the need, but reasons, like a YouTube video basically that also elaborates with this kind of with the situation with Chile, for example. There's this YouTuber called Film Theory, and they were explaining how the economy of Wakanda wouldn't be able to be sustained for a long period of time.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
Wait, but Wakanda's a made up.
But I'm using that that as an example. Like Chile, for example, is not closing itself completely from the market. What they're doing is just not tapping natural resources, which in a political, ecological sense is respectable. But that also there can be pros and cons to it, like anything in life. And the best elaboration of that would be the video. My example that I want to give to the team over here, to the listeners of Life Tech and Sundry, is the video from Film Theory about how the economy of Wakanda wouldn't be sustainable. The reason being that they isolated themselves 100% from everyone, and being that they're only being influenced by their technology, no matter how advanced they were. Eventually, the rest of the world, because of them being incentivized by other reasons, would overtake that one nation. Realistically speaking.
Interesting, but I differ on that opinion of yours.
Yeah, I got a counter thought actually.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know. You want to go first?
Sure, I'll be really quick about it.
Yeah.
I think a better example would be Japan. So Japan closed its doors to the outside world for a long time. It wasn't I guess evident to them until much later, when they saw that technology could be something that they can use to their benefit, and closing or shutting the doors off to other countries coming in and trading with them didn't make sense. So that's one way that you can see where it not only economically but also obviously politically, it wasn't in their best interest to do the shutting of their borders. But I think another example would be Venezuela. So Venezuela obviously has a lot of oil, but unfortunately, they have a lot of oil, and it started off well for them, where they were, people were being wealthy. There was progress. There was a good economic boom in the country.
Off the energy sector?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oil.
Whoa. Big whoa.
Yeah, they're the biggest oil on this side of the planet, like in the Americas. Not to say Alaska or Texas or Mexico doesn't have any. It's just that for a country of that size, and to have that much oil, they could have definitely leveraged that to their benefit. So economically speaking, Venezuela would have been in a way better position. But here's what the issue is, and a lot of people see it a different way, especially people that live probably in Venezuela. A lot of people ran away from Venezuela, went to Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, to try to run away from communism, in a sense.
So politics again.
So politics here went the other direction, where basically it didn't help out the situation. So the rich got richer, the poor got even poorer. And I mean, right now,
that broke the rule of communism right there.
No, that's exactly what happened. Communism is when the actual government doesn't allow a free market to actually,
so like
be into place. So the people in control is the government. So that isn't a free market. That is the government control. So if everyone's going to be poor, everyone's going to So basically, I believe
only the government is strong then. Yeah, in communism.
Yeah, so you're giving up your freedom for safety. And obviously, again, we go to Mr. Ben Franklin, whoever, is willing to give up their freedom for safety, it shouldn't be allowed, either of them. So, So in this case, it's like they basically said, well, if no one has anything, well, that to them is correct. Again, we can compare with what Cuba does and North Korea does, and to a certain extent what China does, where they have, you know, a fake type of free market over there in China. But again, not to
total different thing. Yeah.
Dwell too much on other countries. Just taking the specific example of Venezuela, where they have a natural resource they can actually leverage to benefit not only the government, but really in reality, you know, benefit the actual country and the citizens of that country. But the country basically took over and made it private, not in a private sector, more in the private as the private government. So their whole government took control of that, and basically whoever is in that, I guess you can say in the government, is really the ones that are in control and are living their best lives.
Almost like a monarchy.
Yeah, basically. And where the people that, you know, are suffering, I mean, at this point, you can look up articles, you can look up on the internet. There's a lot of people in Venezuela that are hurting. And again, this is all due to the fact where government didn't work out the way it should have. And unfortunately, they're using the resource, or they're shutting down the resources more or less for their gain as a government and their loss as a country in a whole,
as a nation. Yeah,
right. So I mean, again, comparing to Chile is basically in a situation where, do they have a great structure of government? Is it a democracy? Personally, I don't have the answer to that. I'm not very knowledgeable on their situation, but I do think that they're also taking precautions where they don't want to end up like a Venezuela, where they have a natural resource, they exploited it, but in the government exploited it in an erroneous and incorrect way, where only a few at the top get to enjoy that resource's benefit to a certain extent, and you know, the common folk are the ones suffering for that. Yep. Where they're not even able to provide food for their families. So it's a scary thought where, you know, that could actually happen. And that's just, you know, something I wanted to I guess to share with you guys. But at the same time,
example for
yeah, I don't think Wakanda really works, because obviously it's not real.
But I feel like a TV, like something that can be a reference. But you're right, this one is actual history.
Yeah, this is actually something you could it's palpable because it's actually happening in real time. And Japan happened in real time, you know, or not in real time, but it happened in the past.
In real life, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Right. So here, it's like you're taking an imaginary substance, what is it, vibranium that they have in the DC universe or the Marvel universe, and that resource basically jump-started their scientific realm
their science endeavors, yeah.
Right. So, and to the point where they're so scientifically advanced that they can literally take over the world to a certain degree, where it's, again, it sounds good on paper to a certain extent, but only in the Marvel universe because it's made up.
It's a movie.
Like,
yeah.
Right. So I don't think it kind of like makes a good example.
Yeah. Thank you. I didn't know that. This is a better clarification. I like it. I agree.
But sorry. Yes, Josue, I'm sorry. I took so much time, bro.
No, yeah. So I'm on the opposite, and I feel like it would. And here's the thing, because one thing we're missing out is how valuable vibranium is. Vibranium is basically their power source, what they rely on. Everything that is in Wakanda is built around this material. So I personally think in the real world, they wouldn't need resources like natural, like gas, oil, fossil fuel, because
material sciences,
their fuel source, their energy source is vibranium. Now, as far as politically going, can they break down? Sure. But if we're basing on their assets and what they have, theoretically speaking, they don't need any country, because everything they have, they built around this substance, and this substance is more than enough to replace everything that we have: gasoline, oil, fossil
energy,
fuel,
material sciences. What else? Data transfer
and everything. and basically everything we would like is vibranium. What it can offer. So it is a made up world, but
it's not
this
just one thing.
No, yeah, this material, their whole civilization is based off of that. And as you can see, even from the movies, I know in the comics they're a little bit more off to it, but even in the movie series, they have everything that they're basically hundreds, if not thousands of years ahead of the rest of the world. They have flying machines, they have flying cars, they have force fields, they have plasma weapons. Even look at the Black Panther suit. It's virtually indestructible. The only thing that can break it is stuff from outside of the world. But even then, that has a hard time breaking it. The only thing that's second to it in the Marvel universe is adamantium, which is what I think Wolverine's skeleton is made out of. But even then, it's a really big leap between adamantium and vibranium.
Isn't adamantium a watered down version of vibranium?
No, I think it's an alloy they made up, but it's nothing. It's not as good as vibranium. Vibranium is leaps to bounds ahead of it. So I think if we're just talking about what they have and what they can do with it, then yes, Wakanda can be, as they say, Wakanda forever.
Can but outperform politically
easily outperform even the United States
in the science, material science, energy. Everything that we're striving right now, Wakanda's ahead. But you would think because there's a defined amount because of the meteor, their mountain, you would think that they can't recycle or use material, but apparently thanks to their science, they can.
They can. So I feel like if you're incorporating the whole aspects of a country, then yeah, I feel like politically wise that there will be some kind of maybe like civil war and all that stuff. But if they're thriving as well as they did in the movies, then at that point, I feel like countries like the United States, Russia, China are just children compared to what Wakanda can be.
Yeah, because they can outproduce, and sustain themselves in that universe.
I would think like even the closest thing to it is China. And I'm not talking about China now. I'm talking about back then, ancient China. Thousands of years, they weren't connected to any country. It wasn't until the Silk Road came around, but that was when? The 14th century? Thousands of years later.
And even when Constantinople fell, they once again isolated themselves.
Yeah, but they were thriving. They had, you see their culture. Their culture is rich.
They went through the whole seasons, the fall, the autumn, the spring, and all those things.
But that would be the closest example of how well any country close to it would be ancient China, because
and then came the British.
But then came the British, yeah. But even then, even if you bring in Wakanda, what country can go against them?
No one.
Bullets
not
don't matter. Even atomic weapons wouldn't really matter because vibranium absorbs.
It's a renewable energy resource.
Yeah, it basically just fuels their weapons.
Yeah, it's a renewable. That's the critical thing. It's renewable. So that's the push for science right now, that they're trying to do a different. They're not trying to do renewable. Unfortunately, they're trying to find they're trying to exploit another different material right now. With
but
nitrate.
before we go off in a tangent, Marcos, just to end
I'm
things
pulling
off.
it back. You mean?
No, I'm pulling it back. I have to hold it to the reins.
I got the whip right here.
No, I already have the reins. It's okay.
Okay.
So guys, really quick. This is all predicated. Again, this is all theoretical. This is all predicated on the fact that we understand that this is a fake movie.
Yes.
With a fake substance. So that's the reason why I say it's improbable.
Versus
as right now.
No, yeah, but the question to be plausible, you have to assume vibranium exists in the way it does in the comics and even the movies
that they're described.
So if you're basing off of that, then Wakanda can easily thrive.
Just to have this conversation.
If you're trying to make it realistic, then yeah, it wouldn't really work out.
But then you would have to give me to make sense of the actual question. You would have to give me a similar equivalent to what the question we're trying to answer based on what we're reading off of this article, which I think you guys were stating that to come into play, a cobalt, actual lithium.
No, for me, it was different. It was different. My bad.
and this is the reason why I'm saying it, because if we're talking about something theoretical, we're talking about nitrate materials. So this is all based on the quantum mechanics or quantum science that they're trying to use in order for them to get X, Y, and Z, or the solution to, right? Or am I wrong?
No, you're right. That's
so
why I was wrong when I used it as an example.
So this is the reason why I'm thinking using a made up world, a made up country, and a made up actual substance doesn't really relate to us in any way, shape, or form to try to answer a potential of. I mean, again, if we were able to,
example, yeah,
right. That's why I'm trying to give you examples of real, actual, situations that have occurred in the real world where there were actual results and consequences to their actions, whether it be a government saying yay or nay. And then if we were to put something as in some sort of nitrate material, I mean, I'm trying to give you, plausible, situations where people in these countries like Chile have a lithium vein, a vein of lithium in their country, or
that's
Venezuela
a fact. or
that have, oil in their ground. So, and just really quick, I mean, you can say, all right, in the Marvel universe, you have vibranium, you have the exoskeleton of Wolverine that's made of adamantium. You go to Antarctica and you have Antarctic vibranium. You can go and grab the metal that was made to forge the hammer of Thor and say that's uber metal, and we can say that. But at the end of the day, these are all made up, and it really doesn't have any weight to our standards in this real world. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, okay, that. I get what you're.
I got you. Yeah.
I get.
But then I brought up the example of, like I said, ancient China. Ancient China was cut off from the world for at least, they said, thousands of years, and it wasn't until later that they started.
We have to understand. You just answered the question right there. They were closed off to most of the world for a while, and
Centuries.
The only reason. Yeah, historically speaking, the only reason China actually did deteriorate and break up was because of the internal civil wars that they had between dynasties. That's the only reason. So again, this is all predicated on political actions and reactions, and the discourse that happened in between of, this is the reason why there is a Art of War book,
unfortunately,
by the author Sun. What was his name? Sun Sun. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. But the internal warring between the dynasties and the I guess you can call the different heads of these empires is the actual downfall, or is the reason of the downfall, because politically speaking, religiously speaking, even you can go down that rabbit hole too, because religiously everybody had their own religion, and it wasn't until later on that you get these type of civil wars inside the actual continent of China or Asia, and it kind of like broke up these dynasties, these empires, and whittled them down to what they were. And
they weren't competitive anymore versus the imperial England.
Had they had the opportunity to go face off a Britain, go face off, with a different country in that time, like, I guess you can say, well, we have to understand, we would literally have to go into history and see if China had the biggest navy, if they had, the biggest army, what was the technology at that point in time, and then, sparse that, or I guess you can say, pinpoint, what were the I guess you can say, the general count of soldiers or technology that each of these countries or empires had at that given time. So, I mean, given the chance, on paper, China or Great Britain, a lot of people tend to forget India has a lot of people, we never really hone in on what they had for technology, or, I mean, for all we know, India could have had elephants that they were riding on, and they could crush
Alexandria,
people.
right?
And so to me, it's kind of like, had they had the chance, okay, well, yeah, had they had the chance, but they were closed off to most of the world for centuries, and then once they started growing into empire, I mean, they kind of warred against each other because they were all trying to be the emperor of China, or what they called their kingdom, at that point in time. So I think even like, and to be honest, like, it got to a point where they had to construct the Great Wall of China, and Genghis
Versus the Mongols, yeah.
and the Mongols, they were a nomad type of people, and they crushed them. So I mean, it just goes to show you. I think, and again, were they warring about resources? No, they were warring about political, like, I guess you can say, regional political type of situations, and whether or not there was some sort of resource they were fighting over. I mean, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't begin to know how to explain that to you, because I don't have the information on off the top of my head. I would have to do the research. But again, given the opportunity, would China beat at that point in time of the height of their golden age of their empire? Would they be able to crush Great Britain, India, or any other country for that matter? Or at that time, going off of the time frame of when the golden era of China was the golden era of China, like, I don't know. I wouldn't be, like, again, being closed off to other countries. I guess an example is like, a big fish is a big fish, in a little tank until he's put in the sea with all other fish or whatever. It's like, yeah, you might seem big when you're in a tank, but when you are placed in the ocean, I mean, that's a different situation. You don't have anything guaranteed at that point because you're closed off. I mean, I don't know if the Aztecs would have gone and beat up the Chinese Empire or any empire for that matter. So speculating, I guess it's a double-edged sword in that sense. But again, I apologize, guys. We'll reel it back in. But that's just my 2 cents about that.
Grab the reins, Alan. Grab the reins.
Yes, sir.
No, yeah, but I mean, I
just
feel
for
like
conversation's sake, yeah.
Just for me and myself, my
and
2
myself,
cents. That,
yeah.
Shh, don't worry about my.
But
No,
but
No, but for real, like, you can't. Me personally, you can't discount the fact that for these hundreds, if not thousands of years, they were thriving. There was a silver, bronze, and golden age for China.
And Iron Age, yeah.
And Iron Age, of course. So you can't say like they're like, if a country failed, they wouldn't last this long. This country lasts for what? I think it's over 1,000 years.
Which one?
China, ancient China. It's because it's literally the longest culture, the oldest culture we have. There's no other places of far now culture that's as old as China has. Their roots are so go so far back. So, and they isolated themselves. Was it the greatest decision? Probably not, because in the end, like you said, they did basically cause a civil war, which ended them. But I mean, it's like because even now it's like we don't have to connect ourselves with all the countries. You get what I'm saying?
Want to know something? Allegedly, with a quick Google, allegedly, the golden age of China, just to put a date on it, is allegedly the beginning of the Tang dynasty, which is considered the entire empire of China, which was the 618 to 907 BC. No, BC.
It doesn't specify.
What I'm trying to say, when one group of people decided to gobble up its fish in its tank and became a big fish in its own tank.
I mean,
to elaborate.
Right. I mean, and just to put a little twist on it. Okay. Well, just fast forward right now, 2021, hindsight 2020. I mean, and when I guess you can say the geopolitical situation happened between the Democrats and the Republicans. taking that into consideration, United States, maybe not the biggest country, maybe not the most, I guess you can say, yeah, as far as numbers go of citizens in the country, maybe not the biggest compared to maybe the dynasty of China or other countries out there. But speaking on a just political sphere, economical sphere, and even you can say military type, people worry about that type of stuff because whether people like it or not, like economically speaking, the dollar is the world reserve currency. That's one situation.
But I feel we're going off subject here.
No, I know, but just hear me out real quick.
Okay.
Just putting those three situations, on the table, understanding that back in the day when the United States had a civil war, regardless of what the situation was, no one really batted an eye. It was, these 13 colonies having a fight amongst themselves. So no one really cared unless you had, skin in the game, whether it be property or owns a piece of land out there, whatever the case is. But fast forward 2020 and people around the world are, on the edge of the seats to a certain degree because whatever the country that has the most influence, in this case, United States, in all those three branches I just mentioned, people start tending to worry a lot because that could negatively affect them in the long run. So, being that China back in the day, who knew about China? And the reason why I make these parallels is because nowadays, if like us, we're recording on Clean Feed, we're recording for a podcast. When Marcos uploads the podcast, boom, everybody in the world that wants to listen to us is able to listen to us, and they get that information in an instant. Back in the day, when you're closing off your borders, or it's physically impossible for you to travel from the United States all the way to Asia without the risk of dying back in the day in the 600th century or 600 BC time period, you don't care so much, or you don't know that might have something to do with X, Y, and Z and can potentially change your life. So I think that those things, taking them into account, do also are considerably important now compared to back then, and how that could potentially also change the outcome of people maybe even getting these materials or going back to the actual
or the bother of even doing research because there's an incentive. Salutations, Marcos here. This is a message to all the listeners out there. There are links in the show notes for our Twitter, email, and even show notes. Any questions or ideas for the podcast can be sent via these links. Now, back to our regularly scheduled podcast.
Right. So, again, I'm going to rail back. Again, I don't want to go off.
Everyone, bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
But that's the only thing that I wanted to end off on.
Yeah. We're just saying here that because of not political strife, but because of incentives, whatever they may be, and there's a search for new solutions to existing situations, aka this nitrates, in other words, and quantum. What's the word? Quantum
materials.
Materials. There we go. Yeah. There's a drive. So now,
yes,
shall we go to number 2? Everyone okay going to number 2?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2.
And that's it.
And concept for a new storage medium. Physicists from Switzerland, Germany, and Ukraine have proposed an innovative new data storage medium. The technique is based on specific properties of
Technique.
anti-ferromagnetic materials that had previously resisted experimental examination. In other words, there was no data. Well, I'll explain later. Using nanoscale quantum sensors, an international research team has succeeded in exploring certain previously uncharted physical properties of an antiferromagnetic material. Based on their results, the researchers developed a concept for a new storage medium. Published in the journal Nature Physics, the project was coordinated by researchers from the Department of Physics and the Swiss Nanoscience Institute at the University of Basel. Read more at http www.sciencedaily.com.
Basil.
Is it Basil or Basil? I feel it.
Well, we pronounce
Wrong.
basil, or we write basil with an I. So right here it's an E. So I
Basil. Yeah, I'll go
I
with
want to
that.
believe I want to believe it's pronounced basil. But please correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. I'm unsure myself. So, but yeah. So,
But wait, you're Swiss, so they might be different.
oh yeah.
right.
So it could be Basil.
Or basil.
Leroy. But yeah, teamwork, right? They're all like from different countries. I like that a teamwork of different ideas pushed the incentive, the envelope, if you will, to new methods. In this case, storage. And unfortunately, we all there's a drive, not political, but an actual physical.
So
a
just to
physical
pause you
drive.
there. Just to
What?
pause you there, Marco.
What?
The proper pronunciation is Basel.
Say it again, please.
Basel.
One more time, please.
Basel,
Thank you.
Basel,
Puzzle.
Puzzle. Basel.
Basel.
Puzzle. I'm lying, guys. Basel.
But yeah, that was my like right now physically there is an incentive for better storage systems because there's a finite amount of times of read and write that
Wait,
we
what are we
have
storing?
NAND, NAND storage systems or
You mean
hard,
NAND gates?
or hard drives or SSDs. Their whole system has a finite number of ability to write, not to read but to write data, and
Define data.
whatever data, read and write, the ones and zeros.
Define it.
The ones and zeros.
Define the data.
Pictures and videos.
Yeah, pictures, videos, dojins,
Wait, what?
animes, videos again, YouTube videos, songs. The ones at the end of the day, they're gonna be ones and zeros.
So when you're talking about mediums, is that talking about like terabyte, gigabyte, and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay.
bytes. How about that? Just bytes of data.
I like bytes. A byte of this, a byte of that.
For example, for me, my USB, it has like literally a 5-year warranty that they'll guarantee their security on the USB drive. Or my phone, our phones, right? They eventually one day will not be able to write any more data, just to read it.
Okay. I'm starting to understand a little bit.
So they're incentivized that there's an expiration date on hard drives. And right now, the current solution is to copy that whatever data you have on the old hard drive and save it on the new hard drive until that one expires, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth.
Really? So, like, I guess my question would be, placing that information in the cloud wouldn't be a solution, or is that just I guess you can say, a band-aid for just like I guess you could say like a shortcut or how can I explain this? Is it like
A final solution. And
No,
end all
like
be
a-
all?
a second way of trying to solve the problem but not really solving the problem?
It depends. For you, yes, but for the company that stores the data, no, because they have to update their drives on the back end constantly. Someone is updating drives, so there's still a motivation, a push to have longer lasting storage devices for those ones and zeros.
Okay, so in the long run, it's not a solution. It's just like you're basically waiting for the inevitable for it to actually die, and you need to actually upload that again to a different one or newer one.
Yes. And when we say die here, is that you can't add, even though this hard drive has, it's a terabyte and it still has 300 gigabytes of data of space available, it won't be able to write anymore because of the storage cells have worn out.
So wait, question.
Yes.
What are they comparing their speeds to?
It's not speed on it that they're saying. They're just saying the possibility to store. There, obviously, it's not going to compare speeds to whatever exists right now because it's a new medium. What they're saying is right now the possibility for a different material or a different method to store data. They're not mentioning
according
speed.
to this, they say that they have the potential to be much faster than the current forms of, for example, hard disk that people use today.
That's too vague. So what I understand,
I mean, from what I see, they're comparing their speeds to like hard disk drives,
which is what there's fast hard drives in read and write speeds. So
yeah, but there's SSDs are much faster, like light years faster.
But what I'm trying to say is also they all of these drives, SSD or hard or disk drives, they have an expiration date, and to the point that you won't be able to store any more data. Whatever data is left at the time of it expiring, it would only be able to read it, but not to add anymore. Anything, any of the hard drives or SSDs, they all have a due date, unfortunately.
Like, what do you mean due date? Like, you can't read it anymore?
It can read, but it won't be able to write.
Okay.
And that's
how
bad.
How long do you think that is?
Right now, for example, for my SSD on my computer, it has, on the day of purchase, it has 3. It's been growing because even the SSD technology has been improving. But the time that I got my SSDs on my laptop, 5 years, versus a hard drive, which is more. But at the same time, I don't know the date for hard drives, but at the same time, there is a due date for them.
Yeah, but the thing I'm trying to get through is that, number one, I mean, the thing that really sells these days is how fast can I read and write my data. If they're comparing their speeds with a hard disk drive, they're not going to get anywhere.
True. Because
solid state drives are much quicker to the point that it's not even close. Now, as far as like lasting,
longevity,
average SSD can last up to 10 years. Not
from
5.
What model? From present 2021 that's been fabricated this year, or that's been fabricated? When did SSD let me look it up.
So according to this real quick Google search, as of 2019, they can last 10 years.
Yeah, but before then, it's going to be incrementing even.
Because also, mind you, this research came out like a few days ago. Like they released their data a few days ago.
It's too young. There needs to be more data besides this announcement.
And as of right now, they don't have a specific like how long can it last. Because right now they're explaining it, but the only thing that they have is that this is more suitable as a storage medium, as is faster than conventional ferromagnetic systems while consuming suitably less energy. If I remember correctly, that's what they're speaking of. A ferromagnetic system is a hard drive.
Yes.
So,
and an SSD is not a ferromagnetic system.
No, it's something completely different.
Now, to elaborate,
it's more of a digital side.
To elaborate, SSDs first appeared in 1991.
They're older than you, Marco.
Yeah. They are 30 technically. And on this year,
so they're almost as old as me.
those SSDs that first appeared, they can't write anymore. You can only read them.
Yeah. But like here's the thing I'm trying to get through. If this is something that they want to release to the public as a suitable replacement for hard disk drives, I don't know how well they can do, because right now the thing that people want is that I can maneuver
Transfer
upwards to like terabytes of data at a time
per second,
at an incredible rate, versus how long is my drive gonna last? Because most of them, like I said, 10 years is their expiration date, which I think is around there.
As the ones that are fabricated in 2019, but anything before that.
Well, I mean, if you want a real life example, my SSD works fine.
Yeah, but it has a due date.
Yeah, but the due date isn't 5 years, because my thing is way older than 5 years. It's like 6, 7.
That's reassuring, at least.
So
that's reassuring.
So I think it's good enough. So like I said back, if they want to have this as a replacement for hard disk drives, well, that's already been out, and that's SSD.
That's a low bar to accomplish. Yeah, that's not bad.
But that's like saying I want to go against last gen's specs, but the new gen is already out.
It's a new technology, and it can beat last gen. Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Yeah. Now, if they're saying like, oh, my data can last for 50 years, then maybe they might have a chance. But if their speeds are like half of what SSDs can do, then they don't have a chance at all.
I don't think I'm going to be alive. Like, I don't think I'll be alive for 50 years now. Like that.
Maybe. If you play your cards right.
Maybe. But no, that's out of the point. But what I'm trying to say...
Eat right, exercise.
What I'm trying to say is that they're being incentivized on what I'm understanding here. And you're right. You pointed out a critical thing within the document, within the journal entry or the news article, is that they're putting their standards on the low bar, which isn't a big feat because there's already something better right now.
Yeah.
What I understood for this is that it probably will give me hundreds of years of storage potential. That here, I'll leave this and I'll be dead, and this data will still be there. That's what I took from this article. You're right. Economically speaking, or as a financial
for a selling point. For a selling point,
there we go.
It's kind of weak.
It's not that strong of a selling point.
Yeah,
but
like I said, right now, people what are in the market for it is faster speeds, uploads, and readable and writable speeds. And yeah, that's about it. And other than that, or RGB
for right now,
or RGB, if you want to be fancy about it, which it actually is.
Artistic
I don't know if you ever noticed, like RGB think peripherals are more expensive because RGB is cool, and it's on that sole fact that RGB is more expensive. You could probably get the same peripheral for cheaper if you lose RGB, but then you lose the RGB. How are you gonna make your SSD light up whenever you play Minecraft?
And
so yeah,
that was my point. I like this thinking. Alan, any thoughts?
Not really. Just because again, this isn't quite my forte. I just, more than anything, more like I'm thinking more like a consumer type of way at the moment. I just don't want to keep buying, like high storage type of devices or memory cards in order for me to keep saving my items every 10 years or so, because again, I find that like kind of tedious. That's why my question earlier was, wouldn't putting stuff in the cloud just be a solution where you don't have to think about it anymore, unless you really want to have your stuff in cold storage where you can have it on hand and just upload it onto whatever device you want, whether it be your laptop, your phone, your TV, even just by connecting your memory card stick or whatever other form I mean, at this point, it's like maybe because I'm thinking about it or looking at this situation in a consumer type of way. Like, if they're gonna make a quantum leap of a new type of storage medium, just to simplify or make it more accessible or easier to do, I mean, I'm all for it. That's great. Because at this point, it's like we were talking about earlier, or like during the week, like maybe you want to hold your NFT digital art or basketball cards from Top Shot on your memory stick or whatever the case is. And if this is gonna facilitate that, you can literally be walking around with, you know, a couple of $1,000s worth of art, digital art on that memory stick, and you know, and upload it, or you know, put it in on exhibition on your TV or whatever the case is. But I guess that's the reason why I'm looking at it this way, just to, if it's going to simplify it more, make it more accessible, have a better way of us being able to interact with that technology, where maybe at some point, you know, you're able to do like NFC almost, or some sort of technology where you can tap your memory card to another memory card, or a memory stick to another memory stick, and it's going to instantly transfer, you know, automatically without you having to open up the screen, click, you know, right click, copy, and then paste it onto another place, or whatever the case is. That's the way I'm looking at it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, guys, but that's my 2 cents.
No, I agree. I like it. Again, and then there's a whole conversation of privacy with that, but that's neither here nor there. I was just talking about the storage capabilities and the longevity of that storage device. But that's not the idea of capitalism, right? That you can buy a new one once it breaks.
I mean, but I guess planned obsolescence is something that's going to be woven into a lot of the products that we initially buy, because companies lose money if people don't buy. I mean, Apple gets slack for it. You know, their oldest iPhone still gets an update, you know, as best as it can, in order for you to keep using it. You know, you might think, well, they're going to lose money, whereas other companies, you need to physically buy a new cell phone, because that phone doesn't get updates anymore. Planned obsolescence. Things are made to be used, worn, and until they kind of don't work anymore, in order for you to buy the new iteration. That's, to a certain degree, a business model, or a type of the way things work. You know, if you had a t-shirt that never got wrinkled, never got worn out, never got pit stains and stuff like that, then you would just need to buy one and done, and the company would most likely go out of business, because they made a product so good, so great, that, you know, it wicks away odor and sweat and stuff like that, and you wouldn't have to buy another shirt. So I think, to a certain degree, you know, we're not quite there yet to that technology, but maybe one day we will, with nanotechnology. I don't know. You know, you might have a Iron Man suit, but right now I think planned obsolescence is something that people, you know, companies or industry still, you know, want to use in order for them to, well, we'll buy the new iteration, or we're going to make something where the customer is going to buy the new iteration. We're still in business. And I think that's just how things work at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. And my mindset is the planned obsolescence, unfortunately. And I agree with it's not that I agree, it's the present business model that we have dealt to us right now. The future is planned not being obsolete. That's my goal, hopefully, that nothing is obsolete eventually in technology wise, but that's just optimistic thinking from my end.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people will probably have to switch to that type of mind frame. I mean, we still live in a capitalistic country where it's like you want to keep up with the Joneses, right? You want to keep up with the person next door. I mean, there's people like that. A lot of people are like that. Where there's other people that are minimalist, where they don't really care. I mean, they can have a phone that's 10 years old. It's like, it still works. It still lets me communicate with other people. I don't need to upgrade to nothing new. Or I don't care about fashion or the way I present myself, in my clothes. So there's no need for me to spend $100,000 on a suit or something like that, or things of that nature. Or I think the most recent thing I heard was like getting something that's not a diamond, that's close to a diamond on I guess chemically speaking, it's like a diamond, but it's not a diamond, and it costs less than like half of what a real diamond is. And you can buy it for your wife or for your significant other as a wedding ring or something like that. And people are just figuring out ways to, like, I guess, save some money, one, and try to figure out the obsolescence type of deal where they don't need, or in this case being a minimalist, where you try to be frugal as much as possible and live minimally, where you don't I guess pile on a bunch of debt or a bunch of stuff, or occur a bunch of material things that you don't know what to do with anymore. And then you have the other extreme where you're hoarders. You have so many things you don't know what to do with.
For me, the funny thing, when you buy something, would you like some insurance on it?
Oh yeah, that's another aspect of it. Yeah.
For if it breaks, you can replace it.
Right. Yeah. It's also another thing right there.
But yeah, that's a whole different,
Right.
story
That's a whole
right there.
situation. Definitely.
Is everyone good? Shall we proceed?
Yeah, I was waiting for Josue to actually say something. I don't know.
No. I'm good.
Okay. And that we close Marco's points of conversation. And now we're opening to Alan's wisdom. Dun,
But
dun,
first, where's my
dun.
McFlurry?
Oh yes, this is sponsored by Josue and his McFlurries. Enjoy.
Yes.
Wait,
They
Josue,
come
you
in
want to go
every
first?
flavor.
You want to go first with one of your points?
No, it's fine. You go first.
Yeah?
He passes
Alright,
the baton
here.
to you.
Okay, no problem. So this is point number 3. This is on my section. So point number 3, I'll read it out real quick and then we can go from there. It says, during the week, I've been on a YouTube binge of all the videos of content creators that I follow, with a sprinkle of new creators for good measure. So for tonight, I would like to share one of these videos / websites with all of you. The name of the YouTube channel is The Deal Guy, and his website by the same name. Matt Granite is a wealth of knowledge. He's the person I look to for deals and tips and tricks of retail stores, warehouse big box stores, and even fast food restaurants. Please take the time to watch his videos. Hopefully it will help you in your future purchases. So, and then, I typed out the name and I linked the YouTube link,
deals.
and I think I also linked his website, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't see it here. So
I think you linked the YouTube video.
no, I know I did, but I was pretty sure I also linked his website. Or
I'll put it in as well.
oh yeah,
I'll put it in post.
Sure, it's basically thedealguy.com.
Thedealguy.com. Once again,
right.
thedealguy.com.
Right. So basically, what I
Hashtag
wanted
not
to
sponsored.
definitely. So basically, what I've been doing since I got back from Mexico, like I've been going through like my YouTube. I guess you can say the queue
Library.
right, the library that I've been accumulating for all these videos for all the people that I watch. And one of them, and there's many that I would like to talk about, but just so I don't ramble on, I wanted to make one of these the highlights. So I picked the Deal Guy with Matt Granite, where I was looking at his videos, and I remember watching his videos before going on vacay and then coming back from vacay right now, like in this like couple of weeks that I've been back. I've been watching his videos and getting tips and tricks about what you should be buying at Costco or Sam's Club or Lowe's or Home Depot. And off of his direction and his knowledge, I've been able to score really great deals with things like security cameras or the Ring doorbell off of Amazon at a really good price. a good price point, and other things like electronics that I've been able to not only use at home, but I was able to use when I was abroad. And not to mention, like you would think that, oh, you're probably just saving like 50 cents or $2 or XYZ, but when you start, and no, it's not that low of a price point. I fortunately saved a lot more money on things that I wanted to purchase or I needed to purchase. And I think the beauty about this is that, you might think, well, can't you just do the same thing, clipping coupons? I think watching a video, at least for me, watching his videos, it's a lot more insightful. It's a lot more practical. And you don't need to clip coupons and store them in a binder or whatever. And perhaps you're not, going to buy the whole store, but there's certain things that, at least value-wise, I can, refer to his video and be like, okay, I'm going to Sam's Club today, I'm going to Costco today, and I'm going to buy, this product or this item that I need. And I know that I can go there with a fair amount of certainty and know that I'm going to get a good deal because, I have this type of reference or whatever the case is. So for me, it's been, very helpful. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys, because I don't know if you guys seen the videos that I linked with him being the presenter. And not only like, Sam's Club and Costco and like a McDonald's or, Dunkin' Donuts or whatever the case is for restaurants or fast food, but also like even on Amazon or Best Buy and stuff like that, he compares, or like retail stores like Gap or Banana Republic and stuff like that. Like he goes pretty much into detail where he elaborates and shows you and explains to you the difference and the quality based on not only people or the people that follow him, but also his actual experience, where he basically he buys the products and uses them in order for them to for him to give a better assessment or better video or information on with the video for the people that listen to him. And I think that's very insightful and very helpful. And I wanted to share that with you guys, and I wanted to know if you guys had anything you guys wanted to say or your 2 cents about this.
Josue, if you will.
So what I'm hearing, tell me if I'm wrong, is to buy the company's Sam's Club, Costco, and just get everything from the store.
Not quite. More so, if you do frequent these stores, there's certain things that he'll put on like a compare type of thing. Like say there's an item that you could probably buy in either of the stores, but whether it be quality or price point, he'll give you that comparison and show you without you even having to step into the store, physical store, or even going online to compare it yourself, which you can definitely do just to make sure. But he gives you that, I guess you can say, that background knowledge beforehand. So if you do frequent those stores to buy groceries, because obviously everybody does buy groceries, maybe it's not Costco or Sam's Club, but then you have a better idea. And again, he doesn't just go through those stores, but he'll go to other retail stores and other things that might be of interest to you. And you can actually say, well, I know that I need to do groceries, or I know I have to do shopping for, say, clothes for summer or winter clothes or something like that. Maybe this is a avenue I might want to take. And hey, look, there's an actual deal where, this store is having some sort of clearance sale or some sort of sale for this, and the quality is there or something like that. And he gives you that insight, which makes you take or make a better decision in the long run if you are in that situation where you need to buy something. And again, it's not only one type of store, it's different types. Like right now, he recently put out a video for fast food restaurants and stuff like that, or restaurants where you can download the McDonald's app, he was saying, and every Friday you're able to get I believe it was either a medium or large, free fries, just by downloading the app and signing up to the app. And they have other deals, according to the location that you're in. Talking about Wendy's, he was talking about what was it?
Applebee's.
Applebee's or Red Robin, or what's it called?
Yum.
Dairy Queen, or yeah. So different places that you might be able to frequent, or you do like going there. And like he says at like towards the end of the video, it's not necessarily you going there every day to use these tips or tricks, but maybe if you're the type of person that likes to treat themselves like at the end of the week on a Friday, or maybe on a Saturday, or maybe
In this economy?
well, again, that's why he's talking about fast food places where you can get deals like at a Chipotle,
Yeah.
where you probably save more. You save more money ordering a burrito bowl opposed to ordering an actual burrito. You get more quantity for
More
fairly
bang
the same
for that
price.
buck. Yeah.
Right. So he's giving you information that he's picked up on. He actually tested, and he has people in the community that follows him that also collaborate and corroborate the actual findings that he does.
Has he ever talked about the guac mode in Chipotle?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
But he
Because
does
they
say,
had in Chipotle, it was like something you sign up for, and basically throughout 2020 and I think still 2021, they will send you a notification to be like, hey, psst, if next time you order you want guac, we got you for free.
oh, that's interesting. So
But that's you being within the app or being a loyal
Yeah, you have to be part of the app. No, you don't have to be a loyal customer. You just have to be part of, like, you had to sign up for it.
have your ear on the ground for that.
Right now I think it's just unavailable, but if you signed up for it, you still have it. I know I still have it
so
because he just told me.
right. So information like that, he's always asking people if you have information of any of these stores or anything in particular that you might want to share with the other people or the community, like please type it out in the comment section, and he will definitely give you some shine or let you know, oh yeah, thanks for letting me know, and he'll share it on this next video. So he's very accessible in that way, where he likes to have that type of relationship with the community where it's like, yeah, it's not just me, having all this information and using it for myself. Like, it's more of a, share this type of information with everyone as much as possible so they can take advantage of deals and stuff like that in the situations that you might need them in. What in this case, maybe a fast food restaurant or in a retail store or big box, type of store, or online even. Like he had a video before the fast food one that was, I believe, Amazon, if I'm not mistaken, and he was saying or showing you the deals, tips, and tricks that you can use on Amazon to figure out or find out where quality and savings you can obtain with certain items and how they rotate and stuff like that. So that's another thing that definitely would probably be useful for a lot of people. So he shares that type of information, and he's willing to obviously ask people to source information in order for him to share. So it's not like he's trying to do it all by himself, because there's a lot of people that are into this type of thing, and I found it very interesting. And I've used his videos before to make purchases on items that I needed before leaving, after leaving, and now right now in the situation where like I've bought a couple of things that I've needed again, and it's been very helpful that I've had his insight in order for me to make these purchases, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys.
I have a question. I have an observation and a question.
Sure.
Observation. So let's think about it in a business sense
And it's gone.
for the individual. Is this gentleman is his business model to run with his group of people to have their ears on the ground for deals each day, or that specific day the video is posted?
So this is the reason why I was telling you about the link that I left, or that hasn't showed up on the show notes, where he has his website, plus he uploads videos on YouTube. He's a lot more daily on his website, where on YouTube it's like every other day, or
like a status
once every
report.
2 weeks. Yeah, of like things that the community actually ask him to record about. Like he'll even say, like, sometimes in the end of his videos, if you guys, or he'll put like a poll up on YouTube or something like that. If you guys have anything they're interested in, like there's people that literally are like, I'm really interested right now in a foot massage machine. Do you have any, deals or tips on getting one or buying one at a good price? And he'll be like, I'll do the research, don't worry. So he does research, and then he'll put up a video maybe in 3 days or so, and he'll do that type of information. But he's a solo type of person. It's not like he has a full team with him.
I mean, with the power of the internet, I'm saying his
team is basically the community.
The community. There we go. The community. Yeah.
Right. On top of him being, person that actually goes out of his way to either purchase the item, which he usually does, and he'll tell you, well, compared these two foot massage machines, this one felt better, but this one costs more. This one has this type of technology where this one doesn't, or this one has a different type of technology, and you get a better bang for your buck with this one.
Like a consumer report.
Right. And he'll do that for the community, and he obviously does that as much as possible for a lot of other things, not just like the foot massage machine.
Yeah,
food, right? Like the I guess you can say the secret menus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or he'll do that for like retail stores, because he is married, he has a kid. And his wife like tells him, oh, this is good quality for clothes at this store, and right now they're having a sale. I think just recently, or not recently, but a while back, he was like, Nautica was having a sale online, and for the quality and the price point that they were selling the men's items or stuff like that, it was a really, really good deal. So he shared that with people, and he's like, please tell me if you have any anything you want to share, if you did use if you did choose to use the information to buy that item or whatever. So there is that back and forth conversation with the community. So that's why I wanted to share it with you guys.
Now the style that I've also understood from this gentleman is that he has his website, right? That not only reviews, keeps you up to date with daily deals, but personally, and then you personally, whenever you're interested in a certain product or service, like fast food, for example. I'm hooked up on fast food. I'm a food kind of person, so that's what tickles my fancy.
I hear.
Now, when you have an idea to set, for example, for me, not too long ago, a few years ago, I wanted to buy some headphones. I didn't know what the headphones look for even, but I decided, okay, I want these headphones. I don't know why. I'm going for these for whatever marketing they did. I don't know what the reasoning was. Now, how are they before I purchased them? Because I already had my sight on this kind of headphone. And they're like, okay, let me look up reviews. And for me, what convinced me 100% to buy this set of headphones or earbuds, wireless earbuds, were Frosty Carter and Riznos. For me, I normally don't do like this gentleman. He posts daily deals on different products. For me, it's like I have this product in mind. How does it stack up? Is there a better product? But what you're saying is that he shares the deals that companies give, because technically it's money that you're not using, and companies are saying this is their marketing strategy to make deals, sales, and stuff like that, right? Technically, coupons, more or less. This is the modern day coupons, if you will.
Well, he's very transparent about that. If he has a sponsor, he'll let you know in the beginning. And if he doesn't have a sponsor, he lets you know in the beginning of the video that he doesn't have a sponsor. But he does tell you, it lets you know that if there are any links down in the description or on his website, he does get some sort of monetary kickback. But that isn't because, he's that, and the reason for that is because he doesn't necessarily always get some sort of what's it called, a collaboration or a sponsor on his videos. So he does get some sort of kickback, but it's not always he gets a kickback from everything he pushes. But again, understand that he's a consumer type of deals person.
His model,
right. He's not a person that is like on a Frosty Carter level or MKBHD, where he specifically just does one type of genre, where they're more of like a technology and
Reviews a product.
right, a product, like they're very good at doing, you know, phones or some sort of or headphones or XYZ type of technology, or, you know, accessory of that nature. Where Matt Granite is more of a overall, you know, consumer general type of person. He's not telling you, well, you know, Beats is the end all be all. No, he'll tell you, well, for what consumers probably are going to want, it might not be the Audio Technicas or the Bose, where he does talk about them, but what his whole situation is that consumer wise, he's trying to get the average Joe a good deal. That's basically what it is. He's not, you know, going to be on the same level of Flossie Carter. Again, it's like me saying, well, I'm not probably going to go to Flossie Carter and ask him to get me, you know, a deal at, or to search for deals at Costco for me, or at Target, you know.
That's this other guy.
Or
this
at Home
gentleman.
Depot or Lowe's. You know, I'm not going to go and look at Flossie Carter or MKBHD or, you know, Lou to for this type of information. If he's going to go to, if I need information about general consumer or fast food or big box warehouse type of stores.
Hey there, this is Marcos. This is the end of part 1 of the LTS podcast. Come back on part 2 for later on the week. Right, Josue?
Yes. So it will come back in. If it's Tuesday, I'll come back Thursday. If it's Thursday, I'll come back Tuesday. And if it's Tuesday, yes. And it keeps on going in a loop.
And we are on East Coast time.
So I think last time, the last intro, I said 4 hours or 3? I think 4 hours. Yeah, it's supposed to be 3. So don't listen to past me. It's 3 hours, not 4.
Meaning if you're on the West Coast, you're, you know...
If you're on the West Coast, you're 3 hours, I think, ahead of us? Or behind us? Behind. Yes, behind.
But yeah, thank you for...
It doesn't matter because it posts these early in the morning.
So thank you for listening to us, to Left Tech and Sundry. Oh, and don't forget, there are show notes down below.
Come back. Thoughts are too much.
Please. But yeah, there are show notes. There's a link for the merch store. There are all the other things. You know, just read the show notes. And thank you once again for listening to Life Tech and Sundry. Talk to you later.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Hi there. Thank you for tuning into the LTS podcast. All the notes and more can be found in the description. By the way, we have a social media page where content is posted regularly. Feel free to reach out at us through there or via email. Both are found in the description. When you support the show, we have a merch store where you can buy an item that you like. If buying merch is not your thing and you just want to support the show directly, we also have links to those too, if you'd like. Thank you. Also, every comment is really appreciated. Credits in the description as well. Peace.